That was said, I'm a tech evangelist at Stylight, so I always get this question, what is tech evangelist? So my mission is to basically make sure the name of the company, of the brand, is known in the tech ecosystem. So I organize a lot of events. I love to build technology and to build especially communities. Previously I was, so I've been in Munich for like two and a half years now. And before I was in San Francisco for 7 years doing startups, also building communities somehow and technology. And I'm also a worried dad. That's my daughter, Colette. Worried because of what happened recently. And big question is like, how did we get there? Brexit, then Trump. I think there's a lot of different variables in the equation. I think some of them are represented here: lack of access to good education. And for having lived in the US for a while, I can say that it's definitely one of the things. Fear that you can find pretty much in any countries with education or not. Fear of immigrants, fear of losing your job, fear of the unknown, fear of the future, and also a poor environment. So if you look at like a lot of American cities, rampant drug problems, low employment rate, those kind of things. So that triggers a rise of populism. And that associated to mass media manipulation, and especially now social media filter algorithm. Like my previous company, we were doing social media clients. So I've been into like this social media sphere pretty early on. If you Google me, you'll even find like funny videos where I was like visiting the Twitter office when there was like 10 people or something like that. And all that empowers the charismatic, bad people. It's true. So, big question is like, what can we do? I think, as a lot of you, I'm just like sitting there and watching, like going through my Facebook feed and be like, damn, like again, like something else and something else and something else, every day like that. But today I want to invite you to actually take action and to resist in some way by engaging conversation with the people who actually elect, the people we don't want to be elected. Talking to the right brain, because if you get logical with like people who try to argue that, immigrants are going to take our jobs, and if you try to counteract that with like logical arguments, it's just not gonna work. So one thing to do is actually to bring up some empathy, because a lot of those people are actually desperate. That's why they are voting for like someone who's extreme, because that's for them the only light they can see. Listen to them. I think we have a tendency to just like discard their opinion and just be like, yeah, it's just not able to think correctly. But actually, nobody listened to them. And so the unheard are basically trying to find a voice somewhere. And like this voice is manipulating them. Get outside of your Facebook bubble. Like, I think by now we all know that this Facebook thing, it's like giving you what you want to see, because it wants to drive visit, it wants to drive engagement. So if you get things you don't want to see, you have a tendency to actually not engage. But the thing is that then it introduces like some bias. So you're only going to see people who are like you. You're not going to actually engage with people on the other side. And those people on the other side, it's the same for them. Like they're only going to engage with people who are on their side, which creates this gap, no communication in between. Another big thing is like fake news. During the campaign, there was definitely a lot of, manipulation. Even though dear Mark actually suggests that I was pretty crazy, that this idea of fake news is crazy. It happens that right now, actually, there's a pretty large team at Facebook actually working on fake news, so it's not that pretty crazy. Hopefully, it will be brought up before the French elections. And another way to resist is to actually be mindful of your privacy. Encrypt. The more you give away on yourself, the more likely you're going to be targeted as well and manipulated as well. I personally encrypt a lot of stuff. My hard drive is encrypted. I know that there was like this thing a few days ago that you will have to actually now, for some countries, give away your passwords. There's a lot of techniques to actually not do that. One of them, for example, and we can have an open conversation about it later, is called plausible deniability. So like, you actually don't have to even acknowledge that something is encrypted or like show that something is encrypted. So that's a good way to actually carry your stuff around in a secure way. Same for communication, like start to use proper apps like Signal, for example, which is not going to spy on your communication or have like any backdoors in this. Subvert. The all good way. This is a picture that was taken actually a few days ago. This is in Romania. It's dear to my heart because I actually spent a lot of time over there. And I saw desperation in a lot of people. Desperation because the system is so corrupt that people just don't know what to do. And what happened lately is that they gave them a good reason to actually go on the street and do something. The government wanted to legalize corruption. So now people went on the street, the law has been reversed, but now they want more, they want the government out. And I think that's the biggest, by the way, biggest protest since the revolution. So it's a big thing. They're also inspiring a lot of people around them, like Bulgaria, Moldova. What we can do as well is using our intelligence, collective intelligence. And as you know, there's a battle for our mind going on. People want our attention, and people want to do anything to get our attention. There's this company called Cambridge Analytica. Who knows that? Who knows this company? A few hands. What they did basically is they reversed engineer Facebook profiles. So they did some psychometry analysis and try to basically see, okay, like if you like this and this and this, then you're probably more likely to be influenced by this kind of targeting of ads or political message. So Trump actually gave them like, I think 5 million, something like that, to figure that out. I mean, to influence the campaign more precisely, because they're also the people behind the Brexit. And what I want to ask today is to build the same weapons. To actually not let, like commercial interests drive these things, but we have the power as a tech community to actually create that as well and influence things to spread love, to spread accurate news. If you look at like any kind of media these days, it's pretty sad. It's all about negativity. It's all about what's bad. And I think people need good news. They need to hear that some things are actually going well in the world. So we don't drive like all the people crazy, and like we don't succumb to like fear, for example. Another thing we can bring on is to use like, modern concept, like modern techniques like machine learning to identify fake news, for example, and to strike back, to do some reverse engineering as well, and to target people who were previously targeted by the government, but target them for like a good cause. What I want is you to join me, to bring up some new ideas, and to take action, because if you just sit and watch, then bad thing will happen. So let's fight back together. That's it. Thank you.